Hello, Global Studies students. Trip here again with you. Hope you guys are doing good. I'm missing you guys. I'm going to take you right into the unit lesson for the week because this is my fourth time trying to record this. So I'm a little frazzled right now. If I miss something or if I seem a little off, I apologize. Our unit, again, is found right within the folder. We have a yellow folder this week. You should be able to find it pretty quickly. There's only one document, just like last week. Hopefully that makes things simplified for you. You don't need to submit anything to Schoology. All you have to do is complete the assessments within the document. There are 3 of them. You'll see that they're highlighted here, and those are all Google Forms. So we're just going to stick with that. It seems like it's an easy format for you guys to turn things in. It's an easier format for me to be able to grade things. So we're going to stick with that. If you have any concerns, please let me know. Send me an email. But we're going to jump right into the unit. We have 3 parts of the unit this week because it is a 5-day week. We have the content learning piece, we have the exploration piece, and then we have that connection to today or discussion or news or whatever you would like to call it. The last couple of weeks we were working on our unit on movements of people. We are shifting now into a new unit. Our unit this week is production, distribution, and consumption. Hopefully you guys remember some of that from 6th and 7th grade. As 6th graders you would have studied the fur trade in that unit. As 7th graders you would have studied the Great Depression as a part of that unit. Our overarching question, our essential question, is how do the world's people get the things that they need and want? And part of that is going to directly associate with this idea of scarcity, which I will get into in just a minute. Our specific learning goal is to be able to identify characteristics of a command economy, a mixed economy, and a market economy. We're actually going to throw traditional economy in there as well, and so that's where I'm going to jumpstart our lesson. In the content learning piece, it takes approximately 45 minutes. You might want to split that up into 2 different days for you. This week there are no lengthy videos. You're going to start with a Google presentation that I put together for you guys. You definitely should have this launched alongside of your assessment so that you can do the 2 together using the slideshow as a resource for completing your assessment. Once you get through the first name, last name, and whatnot, your first question is about scarcity, which I was just talking about a moment ago. In your form, you have this slide. You have this slide also in your slideshow. So when we're looking at scarcity, scarcity is this idea that the world has limited resources. It's not infinite. There's a limit to how many trees, how much water, and so on and so forth. But as human beings, our wants and needs are unlimited. So certainly we could meet the needs of all humans on the planet, but we can't meet the needs and the wants of all humans on the planet. And though you might think all of your wants have been taken care of, that's probably not true. For example, I had a cup of coffee this morning, but I want more. Okay, that's the idea, that our wants are typically unlimited, but the supplies that we have as a planet are limited. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look at the slide on scarcity, and you're going to give me an example of scarcity as it applies to you, or just an example from something that you know, not my coffee fix. That would be an example that you are not allowed to use. The next part of the activity or the learning is going to be about resources that all businesses need as factors of production. We look at natural resources, things like timber or water, those kinds of things that all businesses need in some way, shape, or form. We look at the human resources or the labor, things like you need cashiers, you need people to clean up, you need people to manage things. And then the capital resources, that's the money that it takes to run a business, to pay for the hair dryers or the twirly chairs or the scissors at a salon. And so whether we're talking about a salon or an auto mechanic or a bakery, there are the factors of production, the resources that all businesses need. And so you're going to use a bakery as an example for talking about those different types of resources. After we get through the factors of production or the resources, then we'll jump right into our first type of economy, which is a traditional economy. Each of the different types of economy has several slides for you to view, take in some information. The command economy and market economy are probably the ones with the most information because they're the 2 that are polar opposites and the 2 that people talk about most often. When you get into your assessment here, you'll answer some questions about the different types of economy. Here is a big clue and hint for you. All economies are mixed economies. So though all economies have some aspect of command, traditional, market, truly they are all mixed. Even the most command economy, which would be North Korea, they have an illegal market economy that happens. People behind the backs of Kim Jong-un, they sell things, they trade things, they buy from each other, even though it's supposed to be all government dictated. So look through that slideshow, answer the questions, hit me up with any questions that you have. The next part, after we get through the content learning, is going to be the exploration phase. We're going to try to link some of this economic stuff into India and the caste system of India. The caste system, which we would have talked just a little bit about when we looked at world religions in our unit on conflict and cooperation. The caste system is based on Hindu beliefs, this idea that you are born into a particular life, a particular caste, and that if you do your duty, remember we called that dharma, if you do your duty of good dharma, then you'll have good karma and you'll be reincarnated into a better existence in your afterlife, in your next life cycle. However, in the here and the now, that poses some challenges for those people who are living in those lower castes right now, especially the Dalits. So we'll take a look at that. There's a Junior Scholastic video, which I'm hoping that you guys can launch. I'm not sure if you can though, to be honest with you. So if you're not able to watch the video, it's only a 4-minute video. It's not the end of the world. If you can't, skip it and just go right into the reading. I did check this reading on Jax's email to see if he would be able to access it. He was, so I hope that you can too. If you can't, I do have a workaround, but the reading is here. It is on sort of the haves and have-nots in Indian society, which again links to this idea of scarcity. And then you have the assessment here. The assessment this week is really just taking notes on your exploration activity. So after you get through the name and stuff, you have a brief question here about the video if you're able to watch the video. If not, again, skip it. Then you have just note taking. You're going to be taking notes on each section of the reading, just really highlighting sort of the main idea. What was that part of the reading all about? Try to take several notes per section of the reading, especially those longer sections. So even if you can't access the full document, I have spliced the document together here into bits and pieces with your note taking. So the first section of notes will be on this first page, but notice that it kind of ends here. It says, has come a long way when it comes to its economy. And then that continues down over here by who said it, someone from this society in New York. And so then you have another section. You're going to take more notes on this section, more notes on this section, and then this is your final section. It's quite small. After you're done with those notes and kind of highlighting the main ideas in each section, you are going to complete the Mapping India map questions here. I posed it just like a paragraph, but all you need to do is type in like number 1, and this is the answer, number 2, and this is the answer. Because we haven't done much mapping stuff lately, so I think that that was a good connection there. There's also this small section about, as I was saying, these Hindu and caste system levels. So I want you to read about that, just take down a few notes, write down a couple facts there, and then you guys are going to just end with a conclusion, your thoughts or reflection on the reading itself, and then your self-assessment. All right, I'm going to jump into the third and final component. This is your discussion piece. Some people really struggled with this the first 2 weeks. We didn't have one last week, but we did the first 2 weeks, and so I'm just going to break down exactly what it is that this is supposed to be. First of all, you're going to take in the news somehow. I have a list of different ways that you can watch or read the news. So CNN 10, we've done that in the past. You can listen to NPR. You can read at any of these news sources. And once you've read the news, then you guys are going to go into your news document. So again, it's just another form. And you're going to write out 5 questions. 5 questions that are about the news. 5 questions that you could have a conversation with someone in your household about the news. If they can relate back to production, distribution, and consumption. For example, maybe you say like, wow, I wonder what's going to happen to the economy when such and such happens. If you are, again, relating it back to that news that you watched or that you read. And then after you pose those 5 questions, you're really just going to use those questions to have a conversation with somebody about the news. Try to keep it fun. Try to keep it simple. There's lots going on in the news, so choose wisely something that you're interested in, something you can actually have a conversation about. Again, if you can link it back to the theme, great. If you're just really struggling with that because it is our first day of the theme, that's fine. Then just anything in the news, have a conversation. And then the last thing you're going to do is you're just going to, so here's where you put your questions, the 5 that you use to have a conversation. You're just going to write your feelings about how that went. I felt good about my conversation with my dad because we seemed to see eye to eye. Or it was fun to call my cousin who I haven't seen in a while and talk to him about whatever. Okay, those are just examples, but I have to take out this box. I don't know why it's there. That's it for me. I'm sorry that was super long-winded, probably because it was my 4th or 5th, or I don't even know what take, but then I just say more and more and more. So email me with questions. Miss you guys. Hope to see you soon. Bye.